Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2013 EGU Awards ceremony. It is our great pleasure to honor our medalists and awardees. Please welcome the EGU President, Günter Blöschel.
Good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you to this award ceremony. During this ceremony, we are celebrating excellence in the geosciences, and we have an amazing set of awardees today for the various medals the Union gives. Division medals, Union medals, Young Scientist medals, and Service awards. I'm really looking forward to this ceremony.
Please welcome the EGU Vice President, Don Dingwell.
Next to the top quality of the meeting that the EGU has come to represent, and that you're all enjoying during this week, next to the top quality of all of the journals which the EGU has earned its reputation upon, its reputation is also measured by the quality of the individuals that we honor each year. And I can tell you I've never been more relaxed, because I think we keep raising the bar on the quality of people that we're able to enjoy on this stage. And this year we have some fantastic stories to tell you. So I ask you to join me in welcoming this year's set of awardees, and we'll let the ceremony continue. Thank you very much.
Please welcome the 2013 Division Outstanding Young Scientist awardees on stage. Please applaud Gabriele Villarini, Hydrological Sciences; Juan Carlos Afonso, Geodynamics; Nicolas Brantou, Earth Magnetism and Rock Physics; Raúl Zornoza, Belmonte, Soil System Sciences; Roham, Bakhtyar, Ocean Sciences; Stephen A.F. Smith, Tectonics and Structural Geology; Yong, Planetary and Solar System Sciences; Huang Yongxiang, Nonlinear Processes in Geosciences. I am now calling the 2013 Division medalists on stage. Please applaud. John P. Burroughs, Wilhelm Bjerknes Medal; Albertus J. Dominé, Vladimir Ivanovich Vernadsky Medal; Didier Payard, Milutin Milankovich Medal; Miriam Bell-Matthews, Hans Oeschger Medal; Florent Dominé, Louis Agassiz Medal; Alessandro Arnoni, Ian McCart Medal; Zuhir Al-Tamimi, Damien Miners Medal; Michael Gönz, Augustus Love Medal; James W. Kirchner, Ralph Alger Bagnall Medal. Catherine A. McCammell, Robert Wilhelm Bunsen Medal. Michael Roderick, John Dalton Medal, in his representation, Graham Farquhar. Giorgio Destuni, Henry Darcy Medal. Mark Zobak, Luis Neal Medal. Dominique Jo, Petrus Peregrinus Medal. Justin Sheffield, Plinius Medal. Jürgen Kurtz, Louis Fry Richardson Medal. Harry Bryden, Fridtjof Nansen Medal. Jeroen Tromp, Benno Gutenberg Medal. Helmut Weissert, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck Medal. William Schotten, Philippe Duchafort Medal. Göran Markun, Hannes Alphen Medal. Nikolai Tsegonienko, Julius Bartels Medal. Lee H. Reuten, Stefan Müller Medal. Tilman Spoon, Runkan Florensky Medal. Emil A. Okan, Sergei Soloviev Medal. now calling the 2013 Union Service awardee, Teodoro Miano, on stage together with his citationist, Claudia Zaccone. Claudia Zaccone is kindly delivering the citation for Teodoro Miano.
It was an honor for me to nominate my former mentor Teodoro Miano for the Union Service Award of the EGU. I worked very close with him for more than 10 years, beginning in 2002 when I was one of the first PhD students. Teodoro Miano devoted time and efforts in providing motivation to several students and colleagues, pushing them to be very active inside the Union, promoting new sessions, meetings, and involving new people. His cordial personality and his enthusiasm allowed the linkage between the soil system sciences with other EGU divisions, thus underlining that most of the phenomena occurring in geoscience should be studied in a multidisciplinary way. Based on his science and contribution to the EGU, Teodoro Miano certainly deserves the Union Service Award.
Teodoro Miano is presented the EGU 2013 Union Service Award.
Good afternoon. It's really a privilege to be here and to receive this award, and it's really an honor to be part of this stimulating, fascinating family that is EGU, and to remain in the history of the Union forever. It's also a great privilege for me, and I'm so glad that tonight there is a lot of people who shared my life, my experience. There is my mentor here. There are a couple of students of mine. There is the founder of the division, the actual president of the division. I have to thank so many people for this award of mine. So thank you very much. And at last, I'd like to say hi to my parents if they are watching on streaming this award ceremony. Thank you very much.
You forgot something, Teo.
We are now awarding the 2013 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientists. For this ceremony, please welcome on the floor Arne Richter, to whom this award is dedicated to recognize an entire life of tireless dedication to geosciences in Europe. I am now calling the 2013 Arne Richter awardees for Outstanding Young Scientists on stage, together with their citationists. Please welcome Alexis Rouillard with citationist Michael Lockwood, Simon M. Mudd with citationist Andreas Lang, Xavier Fettreis with citationist Jonathan Bamber, and Hank Sorg with citationist Yafan Chang. Michael Lockwood is kindly delivering the citation for Alexis Rouillard.
Alexis's work has already spanned so many areas of solar terrestrial science. His recent studies using the two spacecraft stereo mission have revealed the origins, the evolution, the coalescence of small-scale structures in the interplanetary medium for the first time. The work has also given the first stereoscopic imaging of remote sensing of co-rotation interaction regions, and the first imaging of an impact of a solar disturbance on a planet. He's used his detailed knowledge of the behavior of different geomagnetic activity indices to reveal the centennial variation of the solar wind speed and the magnetic field of the Sun. His investigation of quasi-annual variations in the heliosphere and how they imprinted upon cosmic ray fluxes. And in particular, he revealed how the latitudinal width of those structures was very important. Recently, he's produced 2 papers on the generation and propagation of solar energetic particles using a wide array of instrumentation, which will become, I am sure, seminal references in the field. To do all this, he's mastered a huge range of instrumentation and techniques, including magnetometers, imagers, particle detectors, as well as modeling. This catalogue of achievement is truly extraordinary for a young scientist. His productivity has been astounding, and it's of a truly extraordinary insight, quality, and diversity. And I have to say, it's not all gone smoothly. Alexis has faced up and beaten down some adversity, and we have a saying in England, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. He's already contributing enormously to the international community by co-organising sessions here at EGU, AGU, the Western Pacific, and in fact, he's the lead convener of an AGU Chapman conference that's taking place at this very moment in Florida. But I'm glad to say he'd much rather be with us. On his own initiative and reputation, he's forged working collaborations with groups in France, the UK, Finland, the US, and actually all over the world. He is a truly magnificent ambassador for European geophysics.
Alexis Rouillard is presenting the EGU 2013 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
Are you sure?
We'll hold this for you. Just go ahead and speak.
Thank you very much. At the end of my medal lecture on Monday, I was congratulated for looking like an outstandingly young scientist. a very nice comment, but I do hope I receive the award for more than that. I am greatly honored to have received one of this year's Arne Richter's Award from the European Geosciences Union. I'm greatly honored because EGU symbolizes to me one of the two best examples of successful academic endeavors in Europe. Every EGU General Assembly is a wonderful proof that national barriers do not exist in Europe, whatever some may say during the current economic crisis. I was brought up in a deeply European family, whom I thank today. My British mother, and grandparents, my French father, who is sitting here with his wife, my Belgian stepfather, and my Greek uncles. You can imagine how lively family gatherings are. Another powerful driver of European integration is the Erasmus program, through which I met my wonderful wife a few months after I began my PhD. Sylvie has been there for me throughout the ups and downs of my scientific career. I share this award with you, Sylvie. I also thank my outstanding colleagues, of course, and my two mentors, Professor Mike Lockwood, standing here, and Dr. Neil Shilley of the Naval Research Laboratory. Thank you very much.
Andreas Lang is kindly delivering the citation for Simon M. Mudd.
It's a great pleasure to see Simon Mudd acknowledged at union level and awarded with the Arne Richter Young Scientist Award. Simon is a most outstanding member of the geomorphology community. He has made excellent and creative contributions to hill slope geomorphology. His quantitative, process-based research is rooted in the mechanics of geomorphic processes. He is exceptionally innovative and managed through field and modeling experiments to shed new light on how hill slope morphology and soil patterns record climate change and tectonic forcing. In particular, his work on the coupling of chemical weathering and physical transport processes opens up new and exciting research pathways in landscape dynamics. Simon has played a lead role in exploring frontier topics such as the role of vegetation in the evolution of geomorphic systems. He has been an exemplary member of the geomorphic community, engaging in fruitful collaboration with a wide range of colleagues and students, and is most worthy of this prestigious award. Congratulations, Simon.
Simon M. Mudd is presented the EGU 2013 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, Andreas, for saying those nice things about me. According to the very regimented schedule of this awards ceremony, I sort of have 1 minute to give this talk, so I felt that was a personal challenge to fit as many cliches in as I could in a minute. So it's really an honor to be here. I'd like to thank all of my collaborators, of course. I'm going to tell you who all those people are in my talk on Friday. Please come. It's at 1:30. I'd also like to thank Greg Tucker in absentia, because he was actually the one who nominated me. And finally, I think it's really outstanding for the geomorphology community. I mean, I do take it as a personal honor, but it's also exciting to have geomorphology represented with Jim Kirchner and the Bagnall Award. Hopefully I can give a good talk on Friday as well. And I've really seen in the last 10 years an incredible amount of growth in the geomorphology community, particularly in Europe and across the world. But in Europe, you know, things are really happening, and it's an exciting time to be a geomorphologist in Europe. So thanks very much for the great honor of this award. Thank you.
Jonathan Bamber is kindly delivering the citation for Xavier Fettweiss.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it really is a pleasure to be the citationist for Xavier Fettweiss. Xavier did a degree in mathematics at University of Liège, and then went on to do a PhD in regional climate modeling under the supervision of Hubert Galli at University of Louvain. Now, regional climate modeling is a very complex field. Usually you have teams of maybe 5 or 6 people working on something like that. Xavier developed a regional climate model for the Greenland ice sheet pretty much in isolation on his own. He's worked on that over several years now and has become one of the leaders in the field in the space of around about 6 years. He received his PhD in 2006. Since then, he's published some 30 papers, which is quite impressive, I think. You know, that's 5 papers a year. Last year, he published 11 papers alone, and it's not just the fact that he's incredibly prolific. These papers are also highly cited. I should say his most cited paper is in a really top quality journal, one some of you may know, called the Cryosphere. It's a bit of an in-joke, that one. He's been a great supporter of EGU, and his work is also going to be heavily cited in the forthcoming 5th assessment report of the IPCC. So for someone so young, so soon out of a PhD, this is really a very impressive achievement, and it's really a pleasure to congratulate you and to be the citationist for this award. So congratulations, Xavier, well deserved.
Thank you, Xavier Fettweiss is presented the EGU 2013 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
It's a great honor for me to receive this award today. Such a recognition from EGU is a very good motivation for me to continue my research on the Greenland ice sheet. And I would like, on this special occasion, I would like to thank several people, my citationist, Jonathan Bamber, Hubert Galli, who is the father of my regional model I used, and who was my PhD supervisor with Jean-Pascal Van Ypersel in Louvain-la-Neuve. He comes from Grenoble. Michiel van den Broek from Utrecht, who welcomed me from 1 year in his team. Marco Tedesco, the expert in remote sensing from New York, and I daily collaborate with. My colleagues from Liège, and also, and obviously, my family. And finally, without the Ice2Sea project, the European one, and its community, it couldn't have achieved such a level in math research. Thank you very much.
Yafang Chang is kindly delivering the citation for Hangzhou.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here delivering the citation for Hang, which we call in Chinese way. And Hang and I have been very close friends and co-workers in the past 10 years. And he's a very optimistic and open-minded person. He made exceptionally innovation contributions to the measurements, modeling, and elucidation of soil-atmosphere exchange and cloud aerosol interactions. His research addresses a key topic of current atmospheric science, the influence of multi-phase processes on the atmospheric chemistry and cloud microphysics, which are of fundamental importance for our understanding of our Earth system and global climate change. And the results and success of his work are documented in many peer-reviewed publications, including several articles in multidisciplinary highlight magazines. And it's my honor to congratulations to you, Huang.
Hangsu is presented the EGU 2013 Anne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, President. It's my great honor being a member of EGU and to come here to receive this award. I really need to share this with all the co-workers. I think I cannot make this without their help and support. Everyone in Max Planck Institute for Chemistry in Mainz, they really make a very good atmosphere, very open, very collaborative. I like that. And Fang, I'm lucky to get to know you 10 years ago. You always share your innovative idea with no reservation. And I like your maybe too critical, but very constructive comments. And I owe special thanks to Uri Persho there. Hi, Uri. I don't know what to say, but you're wonderful. You are great. I enjoy working with you, definitely. Yeah. And in the end, I would like to thank my parents and family. Thank you. Dankeschön. 谢谢.
We are now presenting the 2013 Union Medals. Please welcome Edouard Barr with citationist André Berger, Sied Cloutine with citationist Claudia Facen, and Roger Maurice Bonnet with citationist Henri Raymond. André Berger is kindly delivering the citation for Edouard Barr.
It's a great pleasure and an honor to introduce to you Edouard Barr. I know Edouard since his thesis defense in 1987 and follow his work since then. I have no hesitation to say that he is one of the brightest observational paleoclimatologists of his generation. This is demonstrated through his leadership in analytical methods that permit dating of climate records far better than before, and through the insightful and clever application of these methods to the records that can advance the science. He has been a pioneer in the development of the accelerator mass spectrometry, which makes it possible to measure radiocarbon directly on samples of very small size. This enabled him, in particular, to quantify the penetration of carbon-14 of thermonuclear origin in the ocean, which is a direct way to follow the fate of CO2 of anthropogenic origin. Another field in which the research of Edouard Barr was pioneering is the study of past sea level. By applying mass spectrometry to the measurements of uranium-thorium isotopes, he carried out detailed studies of the variations of sea level during the last glacial interglacial cycle, study that is now used to model the geophysical response of the Earth to the earth-static changes. One of his major results is also the discovery of abrupt variations of the sea level at rates sometimes higher than meters per century, therefore much faster than the rise predicted for the coming century. All this has been acknowledged both in France and internationally by numerous awards. Since 2001, he holds the professorship of Climate and Ocean Evolution at the Collège de France in Paris, and is also a member of the Academia Europea and the French and the Belgian academies. As a professor at the Collège de France, Edouard Barr contributes to proper scientific information to the general public by writing articles and books, organizing open conferences and scientific exhibits, and advising French politicians in various official panels. Edouard Barr also serves scientific societies at many occasions, including the AUG, the EGS, and now the EGU. In summary, Dr. Edouard Barr's research accomplishments are landmark and exemplary, embodying the highest standards of excellence, imagination, and understanding. EGU's Wagner Medal is a fitting acknowledgement of his exceptional scientific achievement and leadership. Congratulations.
Edouard Barr is presenting the EGU 2013 Alfred Wegener Medal and EGU Honorary Membership.
I feel extremely honored and pleased to receive the prestigious Wegener Medal and Honorary Fellowship of the EGU. I warmly thank André Berger for his overly generous citation. Even if we never managed to collaborate on scientific papers, André has been a friend, a mentor, and a scientific hero since my PhD years. Beyond the personal honor, this medal also recognizes the community of geochemistry applied to paleoclimatology. Indeed, climate changes involve mechanisms with different timescales. It is thus necessary to have a long-term perspective to distinguish the respective impacts of geological, astronomical, and anthropogenic forcing. It also resonates because Alfred Wegener was also deeply involved in meteorology and climate research, in addition to his visionary work on the continental drift. Wegener was working with his father-in-law, Vladimir Köppen, a pioneer on the relationship between vegetation and climate, and with Milutin Milankovitch, who developed the astronomical theory of paleoclimate. I'm sure that Wegener and his two colleagues would have been very happy to work on modern and past climate in the frame of the EGU. Being awarded by the European Geosciences Union is really a special thing to me. Indeed, 20 years ago, I was standing here for the EUG Young Scientist Award. Since that time, I have spent my career in France interacting with many scientists in the frame of European projects. This often led to fruitful collaboration with many colleagues from Germany, Poland, Denmark, Italy, the UK, and the Netherlands. And even if my response to citation is too long, I have no time, in fact, to thank them all by name. I should do that, but it's not possible. After 3 years, my undergraduate years in geological engineering in Nancy, I was lucky to join in 1985, the new team of accelerator mass spectrometry in GIF-Surivet, that is affiliated to the French Atomic Energy Center. The work assigned by my advisor, who I thank a lot, Jean-Claude Duplessis, was twofold. The first thing was dating deep sea sediments by using carbon-14 and using bomb-produced carbon-14 to follow the CO2 in the ocean. And because measuring radiocarbon in dissolved CO2 allows, in fact, to track anthropogenic CO2 as well. So right at the start of my career, I got exposed to both a large amount and diverse literature, including the past climate and also the modern and future climate. After my PhD, I got attracted by the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory of Columbia University. I was lucky to arrive at that time in New York when Rick Fairbanks was planning his expedition to drill offshore the coral reefs of Barbados. My second stroke of luck was that there was no accelerator at Lamont, in fact, and this forced me to find something else to do as lab work. At about that time, there was a team at Caltech who published seminal papers on uranium-thorium mass spectrometry, and this was really a similar approach and philosophy as IMS for carbon-14, namely counting radioactive atoms before they decay. I convinced my Lamont colleagues, including Wally Broker, to let me use an old mass spectrometer to implement the new technique and use it to date the fossil corals. From those postdoc years, I'm really grateful to Bruno Hamelin, who taught me clean lab procedures and how to use a solid source mass spectrometer. This allowed me to measure uranium-thorium ages in corals from Barbados, to study sea level, and also to calibrate the radiocarbon timescale. Back in France, several colleagues convinced me to help them build new geochemistry laboratories in a brand new campus located in the Pine Woods between Aix-en-Provence and Marseille. This has been a difficult experience, but it proved to be useful as we had complete freedom to do whatever we wanted. For example, this allowed me to get involved in organic geochemistry and also in trace element geochemistry. For this, I had to work with very different archives, such as ocean sediments, corals, lake sediments, stalagmites, and polar ice cores. About 12 years ago, I was elected at the Collège de France. The official title actually is Royal Reader, but they changed it to Professor during the French Revolution. This was probably to avoid being decapitated with the guillotine, like the famous chemist Antoine Lavoisier, who was also a pioneer in geology, who was the first, in fact, to do geological mapping. Being a member of the Collège de France gives me an additional responsibility to communicate about climate science to colleagues from other fields, to politicians and to the general public. This task has dramatically increased my workload, but by chance, the train station connecting Paris and Aix-en-Provence is located very close to my lab and to the village where I live. So I just decided to stay in Provence rather than move to Paris. In 2005, I was joined in Aix-en-Provence by another colleague from the Collège de France, Xavier Lepichon, who was the recipient of the Wegener EUG medal in 2003. I'm very pleased, in fact, to acknowledge his help and advices over the last years to maintain a double career in Paris and Aix. This choice also made my private life more difficult, and I want to thank my wife and colleagues, Frauke, who is in the audience, for her patience over almost a quarter of century. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for the award.
We've now been joined by the Minister of Research of Austria, Karl-Heinz Töchtele, Professor Karl-Heinz Töchtele, who I would invite now to the stage, together with Günter Blöschel, our President, who has rejoined us.
Dear EGU participants, dear medalists, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great tradition that in springtime the center of Europe becomes the focus of the scientific world when EGU holds their General Assembly in Vienna. Although there has been contact between the EGU and the Austrian Ministry of Science and Research on several occasions, it is a great pleasure for me to be the first minister to address the Assembly. I'm happy to be here, and I feel I have a personal relationship to the geosciences, as my own son is a geologist. When I walk through the building, the conference appears truly impressive, both in size and in intensity. Austria is proud to host a meeting of so much diversity with people from more than 100 countries, from countless disciplines and cultural backgrounds. Indeed, as many of the most pressing research questions are getting more interdisciplinary, this meeting is an ideal forum for an exchange of ideas across the various disciplines of the geosciences. The proximity of the conference venue to the buildings of the United Nations may be symbolic of the role of communication in today's research. Excellent research tends to be international, and one could say that EGU has become a kind of United Nations of geosciences. Geoscientists were amongst the very first to grasp the essential role of international networking that is needed for addressing complex issues in the field of society. Austria has a very active geoscience community. Research institutions such as the Central Institute of Meteorology and Geodynamics are addressing changes in our environment. Climate, ecosystems, glaciers, and the water cycle in close cooperation with universities and other partners. The Geological Survey of Austria, amongst many other tasks, is the result of activity in the research, the sustainable development of minerals, as well as of the mitigation risk, the risks that arise from geohazards in this country of spectacular geology and geomorphology. Organized through the Austrian Academy of Sciences, there is a very substantial community exploring Earth system sciences. I'm happy to see that all of these institutions are well represented at this meeting here in Vienna. As Austrian Minister of Research and Science, I am honored that the EGU once again chose Vienna for its General Assembly, and I am especially glad that you recently have decided to host your General Assemblies here in the next 5 or even 10 years. Also, I'm very proud that the EGU elected the Austrian scientist Professor Plöschl as its president. Professor Plöschl, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your assembly in Vienna and good luck for the EGU. Thank you.
Claudio Faccenna is kindly delivering the citation for Siet Kluting.
It's a great pleasure and honor to deliver the citation for Siet Kluting. I'm convinced to share with all of you the opinion that the research of Siet Kluting has fundamentally contributed to novel understanding of fundamental process in solid dynamics. He has made relevant contribution in tectonics, lithospheric dynamics, interplate deformation, and sedimentary basin evolution. He was probably the first one to realize the importance of to incorporate realistic rheology into modeling of tectonic process, as well illustrated by from his pioneering work on initiation of subduction zone to the more recent lithospheric strand distribution on a full continental scale, vital for understanding localization of interplate deformation in continents and in ocean. He explored the importance of interplate deformation, providing novel concepts on the style and mechanism of deformation and basin formation, including the analysis of lithospheric folding and comparison of flexural rigidity. Outstanding application include the initiation of Cocos-Nazca spread in center, the interplate stress field of the Indian and Indo-Australian plate, the Asian continent, the Iberian macroplate, matching modeling prediction with data from earthquake, faulting, folding, heat flow, gravimetry, and plate motion. A very successful line of research promoted by Siet Kluting was the linkage between tectonic stress, apparent or relative sea level change, and basin subsidence, a revolutionary concept on sedimentary geology and giving a novel view of sequence stratigraphy. This study introduced the concept that some of the variation in relative sea level recorded in sedimentary section are caused by variation in stress field. After his appointment on the chair of tectonics first in Amsterdam, Kluting has built up a strong research program on integrated tectonics and sedimentary basin studies, in which he successfully bridged lithospheric geophysics, tectonics, and proposing an innovative link between numerical and analog modeling and observational studies. During the last decades, Siet promotes large European initiatives. Between them, I would like to remind the Interdisciplinary Research Project, Top of Europe, which is a large collaborative research effort funded through the European Science Foundation, investigating the coupling between deep earth and surface processes. Siet publication is exceptional, more than 260 papers in national and international journal, with astronomical citation. Moreover, I was acting as mentor, promoting and supervising more than 64 PhD students from 18 different countries. We all consider the propulsor action of Siet in the earth science as breathtaking, from extraordinary number of special volume meetings, field excursion, pantagruelic social dinner, creating a unique, energetic, and jovial atmosphere around him. Siet Kluting has achieved exceptional international standing in solid earth geoscience, and is a truly worthy recipient of the Earth Medal. We all thank him for his extraordinary contribution for the development of a new integrated view of earth science in Europe. Thanks.
Kluting is presented the EGU 2013 Arthur Holmes Medal and EGU Honorary Membership.
Thank you, Claudio, for your beautiful citation. And of course, I'm extremely grateful for the nomination. I was also deeply touched yesterday by the introduction by Don Dingwell to my medal lecture. And as I indicated in the subtitle of my medal lecture yesterday, it is all about discovering the unexpected. And of course, this medal is something that for me was completely unexpected. It is a great honor, and really I feel it like a privilege to receive today this medal, named after Arthur Holmes, a true pioneer in geosciences, and also the author of the first textbook in geology that I purchased when I was a beginning student of geology in the northern city of Groningen in the Netherlands. To receive this medal from this union that is very dear to me, and a union that is really in very good shape, that is getting stronger every year, and that is really a bottom-up venture with so many young people involved, not only in terms of presenting, but also in shaping it. That is really something special to be an honorary member of this union that is vital for the future of geosciences in Europe, and that is vital to ensure that Europe is a very strong global player, because this union makes the difference. The interaction between deep earth and surface processes, as mentioned by Claudio, I really see that as a new frontier in integrated solid earth sciences. It is essential to bring these things together, not only coupling different spatial and temporal scales, but also bringing different approaches, make a strong connection between modeling and observations. And in that context, of course, we are well on the way in Europe. Now also with the European Plate Observing System on the roadmap for funding large-scale European infrastructure. These things make a difference because we have to move forward to make our field attractive and to build on what the EGU has achieved, to keep it attractive for the brightest people that we need to move ahead also in the coming years. And in that context, this connection between the deep earth and the surface processes is essential to address issues of great societal relevance, such as natural hazards and georesources. Future questions on energy and environment cannot be handled without a platform that brings us together. And it is very clear that EGU, with its long-term vision, keeping us in Vienna also the coming 5 years, I think, is a must. And again, I'm very happy now to be an honorary member of this very important bottom-up union. I like to share this medal with all my close colleagues in so many different labs that have always been a great source of inspiration and gave me the energy to do the things I have been doing. It was really a fantastic journey over the last few decades, and the journey is not over yet. And I count on those friends and colleagues also for the coming years. I like also to mention the more than 60 PhD students that worked
in our research team in Tectonics, and which of course also made a big difference. And of course the beautiful Tectonics team itself, now located in Utrecht, in extremely good shape, and that is also something that gives me every day new inspiration. There are so many people that I learn so much from, and so many people that I consider as close friends that it is impossible to mention them all here. However, I like to make an exception for 3 people that were vital in shaping the early stages of my research career, and that already at a very early stage gave me the full confidence. And first of all, I like to mention in one of these 3 my promoter, Professor Nico Vlaar in Utrecht University. Second very important person for me has been and is my lifelong colleague and friend Rinus Wortel, here in the audience. And finally, Peter Ziegler from Shell, my mentor in sedimentary basin studies, and the one that always told me when I came up with a new model, he said, listen to the patients, the Earth, and confront what you think with your model with the reality, and don't stick to one type of data. These 3 people have played a very important role in, let me say it, to follow the path and really to be open to new opportunities. And I think it is a great time for Earth Sciences today. And again, it is fantastic to see that the EGU is taking the lead in so many things that are now underway. So thank you again for this great honor.
Is kindly delivering the citation for Roger Maurice Bonnet.
I am very proud to present Professor Roger Maurice Bonnet, who is today awarded the EGU's 2013 prestigious Jean-Dominique Cassini Medal. It's for me a real pleasure. I have known Roger since 50 years, and we began our first space activities in parallel in 1963 during a balloon campaign in Aire-sur-l'Adour in France. Roger was first a successful scientist as a UV solar observer. He obtained the most detailed images of the solar chromosphere at that time, using the Lyman alpha line of hydrogen, and he provided important information on the heating of the solar corona. From 1969 to 1983, he was director of the Laboratoire de Physique Stellaire et Planétaire, LPSP, of the CNRS near Paris. In 1983, he was selected as Director of Scientific Program of the European Space Agency. During 18 years, he was extremely efficient in this position and can be called a chief architect of the European space science. He introduced the first long-term planning scheme of ESA called Horizon 2000. This program has been carried out fully with huge success. In 1996, he was very affected by the crash in Kourou of the 4 spacecraft of the cluster mission on board the first Ariane 5 rocket. Undeterred, he fought very firmly to obtain new funding. It was not so easy. To rebuild and to relaunch the 4 satellites in 2000. These satellites are still in operation. Without him, the cluster mission, which is now a very big success of space research, would have been lost. Roger Bonnet is receiving this Cassini medal because he is an outstanding scientific personality, but also because since 2001, he has played a major role in space research as president of COSPAR and executive director of the International Space Science Institute, ICI, in Bern. As president of COSPAR, from October 2002 to July 2010, he was very active, and he has strengthened the impact of this organization of the international space policy. As executive director of ICI from January 2003 to October 2012, this institute has become a place of choice for international cooperation in astronomy and earth science, and is now widely recognized by the international space science community. For all these reasons, Roger Bonnet is perfectly qualified to receive this Cassini medal. My proposition for this nomination was supported by 5 people. One from China, Professor Wu Ji, one from Germany, Professor Gerhard Arendel, one from Great Britain, Professor André Balog, one from Russia, Professor Lev Zeleny, and one from USA, Professor Len Fisk, confirming his outstanding international scientific reputation. I am very, very glad to present to Roger my very friendly congratulations.
Roger Maurice Bonnet is presented the EGU 2013 Jean-Dominique Cassini Medal and EGU Honorary Membership.
I would like to first thank very much my friend and my colleague Henri Rem for his very elogious speech concerning my role in science and in space science. And I would like also to share with him the best and the worst souvenirs of our past activities. I would like to thank the EGU, the President, and all the organization for granting me this medal. It bears the name of one of the most famous European astronomers of all times, and a great planetary scientist to whom we owe so many discoveries about Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and the whole solar system. He remains an example for all the generations of scientists and astronomers. So for me, it's a great honor to receive this prestigious award, which forces me to modesty in the respect of the memory and the general contribution of Jean-Dominique Cassini to our knowledge of the universe. I'm probably too old to thank my parents. It would be useless anyway, but I can do it because both of them were professors in mathematics. They also did a few things beside that. My mother was singing in the Opera of Marseille. And my father was graduated from the École Supérieure d'Optique just after the war and became an engineer in the Peugeot Society in Sochaux. And probably because of that past, I am today a singing space scientist, because I also was a singer at the Paris Musical School. You did not give me the award for that. It's probably better. Let me thank the people who have helped me considerably in getting where I am. Being a singing space scientist allows me to make a transition to the role which I think I occupied in my activities in Europe and in the international scene. I would compare my role as an orchestra conductor. As a scientist, I know about science, but all the people who worked on the space program of the European Space Agency and of the national programs in Europe and outside are better musicians than I in their own fields. So I'm an orchestra conductor, and I think it is important to realize that there is no good orchestra without good musicians. The musicians are here in this room today, and I would like to thank all of them for helping me and allowing me to get this grant. Also, let me thank a few people who have been very instrumental in this. Again, Henri Rem, my friend of pleasure and sorrow at the time of the difficulties. I would like to thank my colleagues from the Institut d'Astrophysique Spatiale, in particular Jean-Pierre Bubring. I would like to thank my colleagues, former colleagues from ESA and from the LPSP, Bernard Huang, here present, who I'm very happy to see. My dear colleague, Arne Richter, who is very famous in this company and with whom we worked in the very early days of the space program. And a special thank would go to one person whom I did not know a few moments ago, but who has helped me to tell you a few things about my speech tomorrow, because he said, and I'm quoting Simon Mund, who just got the award of the Young Scientist. He said, if you want to listen more to my speech, come on Friday afternoon at 1:30. So if you want to listen more from me tomorrow, you should come here in this room at 12:15, and we will share some of the impressions that the space science program of the European Space Agency has created in the development of science and space science in Europe. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EGU President, Günter Blöschel, is kindly closing the EGU 2013 awards ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have indeed celebrated excellence today with an outstanding set of medalists. And this is not only excellence in geosciences, but the medalists are also a source of inspiration for us all. And I would like to invite you to put your hands together to applaud them once more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for drinks. And I would invite you to follow us outside to foyer B. This way? Okay, this way. outside foyer B to the right for a small reception. Enjoy. Thank you.